What's going on, guys? Kaigi here. Before I start the video, I just want to let you know I did just open a Patreon, links down below. I'll go over what it's going to be about later on in the video, but some quick highlights of why you might want to check it out is I'm going to be doing reviews on anime, trying other games, cooking, a whole bunch of other stuff, as well as weekly leaks for the game way before they actually go live, so you can better plan what you're doing in the game. Let's get into the video. Alright guys, I had something very important on my chest. I already posted about it on my Discord last night to go and check out this post right here. And the math is already out based on what we've seen on SEA plus what's going on Global. It looks like you need at least an 8-star, that would be 3 yellow, of the event fairy to get the costume. They can obviously change things, give us a code or something, and allow us to hit the milestone that way. But right now, it looks like you need at least that 3 yellow, that's 2 copies of the fairy that you need, plus 1 additional holy fairy. So for most people, that would be 3 copies of her you really need. Now, what this post right here, I'm going to talk about this in this first section, and then I'm actually going to go up and then look at other suggestions and talk to you about suggestions I've seen in the past week or so. Now, what's going on here is you need at least 2 copies, for most people 3, if you don't already have some holy shards in the back pocket, then to even get the costume, right? I think for most people, we'll be able to hit that 800 to get the head and the boots. But for the main thing, the chest and the back, you're going to need the 2000. Now, this person is saying to give us a free copy, and I agree, but in a different way. So what I'm thinking of is we've had Lotus in the game, right? You bring up your base fairies to certain levels, and it gives you shards for Lotus, and then after a while, if you're just doing your dailies, you will max out Lotus, which is a water flower fairy. I think it'll be very interesting if during the 2 weeks for the event, they have something like that for the event fairy. So as you're able to do things, maybe they add like guild points, daily activity, things like this, and then you keep getting shards of the fairy, and then at max, once you max out the thing, within that 2-week period, you get 1 copy of the new fairy. I think we can all agree that a 6-star version, 1 yellow of a new fairy means almost nothing compared to what everyone else has, right? So I think giving people that 1 fairy gives the free-to-play people something they can work towards. I think it'll be especially good if you add something like performance and stuff in there, so that it makes people interact with other people. I'm not a big performer myself in the game, but I think if you add that, that forces people to play with each other. Maybe add assist in there, so people are helping each other with dragon, things like this, and just everyone gets 1 copy of the new fairy, which even in the current scheme isn't enough to do the event, right? You realistically need 2, but for most people 3 copies to get it done. With the 1 copy, you'll get the 800. Whoop-de-doo. They give you a headpiece and boots for free, which I think they should for these events, right? Now they do have the Battle Pass. The free version of the Battle Pass gives around 10-ish summons, but if you don't get a copy of the fairy in that 10-ish summons, you're kind of SOL, and a lot of people will either quit or say, okay, I'll come back for the next fairy. And I think that's something that we should definitely look at. I'll have a link to this post in the comment section. If you click that link, it'll take you directly to here. It'll ask you to join the official Discord first, the global Discord. But I think this is something we need to be talking about. Now let's see. I haven't really looked at anything else in the past couple days, but I just want to skim through some and see what people are talking about. Separate bag for music, that's fine. I don't think that's really needed, but I don't hate it. Going to have Flower Fairy season event every month. They're talking about the same thing. Give us more tickets. Can be exchanged for 60 fragments of the fairy, so only those who play almost every day will get it. Yeah, kind of saying the same thing here. More decorations, I have no problem with this. Over a year, and in home, I love the fact that we can sit in chairs and interact with things. The best setup I have so far is I have the Rimuru chair, which is just a beanbag, effectively. You like lay back when you're in it. And I have the flat screen TV from when Dahlia was released. And when you have it set up in such a way, you can have it where you're laid back watching the TV. And I think it's funny taking a screenshot with one of my fairies walk by. I'm like, hey, Rose, can you go make me a sandwich or something? That's just kind of funny in my opinion. Interact with the wilds. I do think that we should be able to. So if you are familiar, if the guild bathing thing is at your house, once bathing is done, you can walk back to your house. And there's some kind of like foliage path you can walk down. It would be nice if we can normally walk through that area. Adjust or remove Black Dragon. I disagree. It is hard. It's supposed to be hard. Coliseum, adjust or remove, same thing. It's too hard. I get it if you are on a newer server or just generally lower powered. It will be hard. That is where making friends, people helping, working on your builds. There was an issue down here with the Dark Dragon that it had too much tenacity, but after the first week, the second week, it was a lot easier. Companionship interaction, more interactions. I have no problem with that. Add it. Disaster Crusade recruitment. Help to pass. So you could do this, but it could cause a lot of issues with merging and such. But I mean, as it is, you can already directly recruit people. If you're talking about recruiting people from other servers, they would just check to see on there. I know something I did was I would know someone on a Discord. I'm like, hey man, I'm 120. Can you help me with the Disaster Crusade? They two of them said sure. They jumped on. They helped me, and we were done. Events and rewards. Back then said first encounter were removed for a game mode being antidotes. 90% of the rewards, it's actually exactly 90%, got lost on the way. So the newest one is the worst case of this, right? Because with all the other ones, you needed a 10-star version of the fairy to get one summon in return. For Butterfly Orchid, you need 10-star version of her and a 10-star version of Lavender, which there's no way to currently get Lavender. So what are we doing here? Instead of giving us a 10x for every fairy, you can keep the anecdotes, but give us that, what I talked about in the beginning, that Lotus mission, add some story to it, and then give us a copy of the new fairy. I think that's better than a 10x, just a guaranteed version of the fairy. Free once, right there. Same person, same idea here. This is actually a big issue for some regions. Not everyone will be familiar with this, But when you do payment processing in the game, you have your Apple, you have Google Pay, things like that. There's a thing called Pix, which no longer is covered by this game and a lot of games because of some laws. I'm not super familiar with the actual laws behind it, but some areas like Brazil and even some Asia areas are having issues buying any packs. So they're asking to add PayPal to it, and I agree they should add something so you can actually buy something if you want it. IO system, legacy transfer. This is something most players would want, but it's never going to happen. Where you can transfer stats over to the new IO, make it cost an extra core, make it cost some essence. That's totally fine. But this is something the players definitely want, but I don't think it'll ever happen. Now, something that isn't over here, but I do want to talk about, is over here on SEA. I'm sure they'll love that I bring it up. Let me find it. They're talking about something called Legion War. I actually have some screenshots. Give me a second. Alright, so if I go over here. Alright, so if you're unfamiliar, we used to have these roadmaps. Back in July, I'll show you that screenshot in a second as well. They said these were coming back, but we still haven't seen one. And this is actually the time of year that we should be having this. But this was huge because we got a glimpse of what was coming. This was in 2022. This is when I was still part of the content creator program, before we started being all cliquish and stuff. But something over here, 2023, Legion War Reborn. Everything else here has pretty much happened in the game. Legion War Reborn is the only thing that hasn't really happened. I'll show you an idea of what's going on with Legion War over there. But if we come over here, they showed gameplay of it the other day. Here we go. So this Legion War, very similar to kind of like what we have with Shrine Peak, but a bigger area. So bigger area, different. It's like, think if Shrine Peak was mixed with Crystal Battlefield, kinda, and this was an all-day thing. You could just queue up and then get matched up. You have the three groups: blue, yellow, red, and then you're trying to get points. There's also a little bit of Guild War aspect because the groups are a little bit bigger. You are killing these crystals. This is back on SEA, Southeast Asia S servers, which were 5 skills, no 3 classes, and no cooldown switching. But these have been shut down, so this is no longer a thing. That's why they talked about in 2023 they wanted Legion War Reborn, which theoretically would have been this coming back plus some updates. Let me know what you guys think down below. Would you want to see Legion War come back? Would you want to see the roadmaps come back? That's a huge thing. And how do you feel about everyone getting one copy of the new ferry? Till next time, guys. Alright, guys. So short thing is, YouTube kind of sucks. So as you see on the channel, the Neverland stuff does well. It gets pushed in the algorithm, does good. Anything else I put on the channel, even though it's the same level of quality, same kind of tags and stuff like that, but for tweaked, it's not doing well. That's either because you guys don't want to see it, or because I'm not ranking in that other game or whatever I'm doing. Now, what I want to do is this Patreon. The Patreon link's down below. It is a monetary gain for me. I have it set to $3 a month. And what's going to happen there is I have been posting little bits of things in advance on the Discord, like the S2 logo. We knew the outfit was coming. We knew a few things several weeks up to a month ahead of time. Now, what happens is I've been getting that from people, but now I have a software that I can plug into my phone, and as you may or may not know, when games do updates, they put things in the game, but they're not live yet. Just like we had our update on Tuesday, but the event goes live on Wednesday. There's no patch on Wednesday, right? But the event goes live. So they can put things into the game and then have it go live at a later date. The fairy, Orchid, has been in the game for 5 weeks now. And it was put at the same time as Tranquil Bloomflower, which is how we were able to figure that out. But this requires time, which is why I'm doing it with the Patreon. A lot of things I can't get in trouble with, but I could get in trouble YouTube or whatnot. So I'm going to do weekly updates on the Patreon with leaks, so everyone can see that and be ahead of the game, as well as I want to do. Right now, I'm mainly just doing this game. I would like to branch out into a few other games, but when I release a video for another game, it hurts this game. It hurts the channel on YouTube. That's not something that all of you have to care about, but it's something that stops me from wanting to do it that way. I can, however, post it on the Patreon, and it doesn't interfere with the YouTube. You see that? And I'm also going to be doing anime reviews, talking to you guys. I plan to start streaming on Twitch and then posting that over there. So I'm trying to figure out, because the game's not, Neverland's not going to be around forever, right? So I'm trying to grow the brand of Kyger Mobile. Let me know what you guys think down below. Till next time, guys.